Editor Gabby here. So, we didn't realize this until the panel was done, but the phone my brother was recording the panel on kept switching back and forth on its contrast. So either it would show me looking fine, or the panel slide, but I would be all dark and stuff, and it would not make up its mind, and we didn't realize that until afterwards. I've tried messing with the contrast in the video, but I've not been able to figure that out. So the solution I'm going to have for this is the slides are going to be in the corner of the screen, and so you guys can see, you guys, the ones watching the video version of this, can see what I was showing the audience. Okay, we good? We good? Sorry that it's going to look a little weird, I'm going to get brighter and darker, but still. Editor Seal Gabby out.
Let me move this right here. Hiya folks and Folkettes. Welcome to Furries and My RPG Maker Games, a history of furry representation in the RPG Maker game engine. I am your host, Gabby Mitchell, also known as EBRoxy72. I'm an artist, I'm a game dev, I'm the hospitality manager of the con, and most importantly, I'm a furry. One second, let me get back over here. Can't mess with the slides right now. Where's my cursor? There we go. Ah yeah, I was supposed to be showing it. Yep, that's me. My first one is a seal. Please admire her for a second. Yay! Thank you. As stated before, I've been making games since 2009, mostly within the RPG Maker engine. This is kind of some of the stuff I made. But more importantly, the RPG Maker game engine, if those that aren't aware, are a series of like little engines designed for RPG games. But the thing with it is they have enough going on that you can make a whole variety of games in it, and I love that so much. I've been playing these games for an extremely long time. Here's some examples of a couple of them. You may have heard of some of these, may have not, that's fine. Some of these we're covering, some of them are lame and not furry, so we're not covering, but still. I've played about 200 of these games since I last count, and in under news I wonder why I'm single. This comes in handy, this little comes in handy even though it means I don't touch grass all that much, when your friend Mango, who runs a con, is like, hey, we need more panels for the con.
You lost one.
What?
One
of your masks.
Oh no.
Other side.
Your bow is down. Oh no. He's here even though I don't talk about him. He's not all that furry. So yeah, no, this knowledge of RPG Maker comes in handy when you get that type of questions. Wonder how this could be useful. I wonder how many furries are in RPG Maker games. So, in this panel, we're going to be playing some games, talking about them, and ranking them on the fur-mometer. So, the fur-mometer is basically this old meme. You guys have seen this one before.
I love that image.
Yep. So, here's my version of it. We get 4 tiers. And a little bonus one here. Tad furry, furry, very furry, and dangerously furry. Let me use some non-RPG Maker games as an example for how some of these work. A tad furry is for something that has some furry stuff in it, but to an average person you wouldn't call it a furry game. Like the example I like to give is Persona 5 because of Morgana. You have a little cat boy in the game. But I dare one of y'all to go to the nearest weeaboo you know and say, ha, you like a furry game. They're gonna look at you like that. To be a furry game, you need to pass the Bruh Really test. Furry are those games that have anthro animals and it has a big theme of anthro animals. You got like Sonic and Pokemon and stuff. But there's enough plausible deniability. It's not by a furry. So yeah, stuff like Sonic and Pokemon. Very furry are for those games where kind of panders to us. It has a little secret fandom handshake. You can tell it's made by one of us. Nine No Woods is a good example for that. And then we get dangerously furry. Those are for the games that would have the same effect as giving a small Victorian child one Dorito chip. That's just nothing that an instant. Whether it be explaining to your grandma that one Sonic Subway image, or not Sonic, Spyro Subway image, or nacho cheese powder to a child, you don't want innocent blood on your hands. Games like Furry Hitler or Sword of the Blackstone would fall under here. So yeah. Now, also, one of the games we're talking about would be a very good example of dangerously furry, but we'll get there when we get there. Now, some ground rules. Games have to be made in an RPG Maker game engine. This is a event-based coding household here. Second, no adult games. No porn, no ecchi, no hentai. If the goal of the game is bow chicka wow wow, then I'm sorry, pal. This is the wrong panel for you.
Darn.
Yeah. There is some games that are a bit more mature, like Fear and Hunger has many horrific ways to die and artistic nudity, and the entire plot of Lisa is the reason why I labeled this one as 13 plus. But still, none of that kind of stuff. I refuse to have an 18 plus panel. No fan games of furry IPs, except for one exception. Sorry, I know Five Nights at Expletive Boys is a cornerstone of our modern generation, but we won't be talking about it. Reason why is like the 20 million Pokemon fan games made in RPG Maker XP, and we'd be here all day. I would like to give an honorable mention to the legendary prophecy of light and darkness, the power to save the world. This is the antithesis of this panel. This is a Sonic Underground fan game that de-furifies the Sonic cast. This is Sonic the Hedgehog, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my god.
You're welcome.
I'm here too.
And rule number 4. Games have to be playable. I don't mind if they're a demo, but they have to be playable. So yeah, no canceled games, no games are announced, no games are not finished. 2 reasons. I want you guys to play these games, and more importantly, I'm already gonna have a hard enough time dodging narcissism accusations because 2 of the games we're covering about I worked on. I don't need my 3rd game I'm currently working on to be talked about because we can play as a dolphin in a fishbowl. One additional thing, little tangent here. So, on Wednesday, this panel script was 16,000 words long. So, I had to cut a couple of games. Where's my slide that shows all the games I cut? It's gonna show up sometime.
We'll find it.
We'll find it. We'll
It'll be a
find
nice
it.
surprise.
Exactly. But yeah, a handful of games I cut for time. I plan to rework this into some sort of like YouTube video later on, so I can put all the games back and all the boring stuff I wanted to talk about. Yeah, like I had to cut so much of me talking about like the programming aspects of some of these games. I realize you guys would think I'm a nerd. I'm already am, but still. All right, we good? We good. Let's go. So doing this panel made me ask a very interesting question. What is the oldest RPG Maker game with furries in it? How long did it take for people to go, I could put my persona in that? Well, I did the only rational thing a normal sane person would do. I went to an obscure German archive site that my boss showed me, sorted the games by chronological order, downloaded them individually, then data mined them looking for furry assets until we found our answers. Like a normal person. We found some interesting games along the way, but we did find our answer for this question. Hi, we're talking about furry RPG Maker games. Want to join? We just started. Okay, we found our answer for our first ever furry RPG Maker game. 1999's Dino Trigger. A game with 0 dinosaurs in it. My disappointment is immeasurable and my day is ruined. In Dino Trigger, you play as Dino the bunny and Neon the dingo. Y'all go to a castle to go check it out, but an earthquake occurs and it blocks your way back home. You find a cave, and this guy is like, I won't let you through unless you have a tough guy. And so you look around until you find a tough guy. Let me check my notes here. What's his name? Yeah, Cactus Lick the green rabbit. So yeah, once you get Cactus Lick on your team, take a seat, Lolly. Once you get Cactus Lick on your team, you go back to the cave, you talk to the guy, they let you through, and then the game ends. The game ends. That's it. It is like 20 minutes long, but it's still the oldest RPG Maker furry game I can find. I dare one of y'all to go find one older than it. I swear. In my opinion, naming your green rabbit Cactus Lick, that is a very furry thing to do. So that
Fur-mometer!
the fur-mometer. Did I misspell that?
No, I just can't read.
Fair.
I brought my character along with me.
Sounds good. So yeah. So to start the panel off, Dino Trigger goes into very furry. On to our second game, and my favorite game of all time, much less an RPG Maker game. This is 2004's Yume Nikki. Yeah, we're jumping a little ahead in the timeline, but still. In this game, you play as Matsuki, and you explore her dream worlds. Big interconnected dream worlds. So think like a top-down, like Metroidvania kind of game. You go into one of these doors, go into here, you go here, and you go into and end up back where you started. The goal of the game is to collect the 24 effects. Each one of these, I like to believe, represents a part of Momosuke's self that she's trying to get back. I know, I am pretentious. I'm convincing you. Anyways, it is my favorite game of all time. Okay, in it you have Momosuke, she refuses to leave her house. And you slowly kind of piece together why she's this isolated through her dreams. It doesn't have any dialogue, but I find it to be one of the best games that represents like depression and whatnot. And I played this in one of the darkest points in my life. So I have an immense amount of appreciation, because the game and its ending kicked my ass, and it made me go, yep, that's me. I've been isolating like that. I don't need to be like that. So yeah, favorite game. I was supposed to use this slide for that. Anyways, but enough of that sappy crap. Enough of that sappy crap. What makes it furry? Okay, so in the dream world, you have some Anthro characters that you can find. You got the Aztec Wraith Monkey, my favorite character. He's best himbo. He's based off of the god Otsumali from Aztec mythology. You also got the Tori Nickman. They chase you around. If they catch you, they put you in a timeout corner, and you have to force yourself to wake up. And then you get the jellyfish NPCs. They follow you around, and they're very important for the game's ending. Are jellyfish people furry?
Yes.
Yes, the jellyfish people.
I love the art, by the way.
You're welcome. I made that on the car ride to work Thursday.
Wow.
This is that last minute. Now, so Yume Nikki has some other stuff to it that makes it furry. The goal of the game, again, was to collect the 24 effects, and 2 of them are furry. The cat effect will attract NPCs towards you. Well, the frog effect turns you into an anthropomorphic frog, and you go hippity hop. You can also swim faster. You made it!
Yep.
Because you can play as an anthro, even though it's not her default form, I'm gonna rank that furry. In my opinion, if you can play as an anthro as your main character, that's plenty furry. Okay. Now, with Yume Nikki, it inspired a whole buttload of games. It was easy, I just grabbed one of my own images I made a while back. Tooting my own horn there. And so, yeah, it inspired about 400 different fan games according to the wiki. One of them we were setting aside for near the end of the panel because there's enough stuff to be its own segment, and also some other non-ulterior motives. But still. So, in this lightning round, we're just going to talk about the game, or what makes it furry. Each of these games have that exploration-based gameplay with a shut-in who doesn't go outside much. Okay, we good? We good. So, in Dot Flow, you get the cat effect, which allows you to switch back and forth between a Nikomori and a normal house cat. In my opinion, that is a tad furry. Because, okay, Nikomoris are cute and all, and that's a realistic cat. It's not an anthro. In Dream Graffiti, you get 3 anthro abilities. You can turn into a kingfisher bird, makes you go zoom zoom. You got a sea turtle effect that makes you go zoom zoom in the water, but you're slow on land. And a little kitsune, which allows you to make it snow. By the way, tangent time, I love Nitrorad. He's one of the best RPG Maker YouTubers. But what was he smoking when he said this Dream Graffiti was mid? It's my second favorite game. It has the best soundtrack of one of these games. Pout. So in Yume Nikki, Usosuke can turn into a little bunny. The bunny also goes zoomy. That, I count that as an anthro. Her head is a bunny, but the rest of her body isn't. Anyways, I'm gonna rank that as furry. In LCCDEM, you can turn into a puppy dog, and it's similar to the one in Dot Flow, where you can switch back and forth between a realistic doggo and a dog girl. Though that one can go hippity hop across areas. In Deep Dream, you cannot turn into a furry, but you find this Batmaid. What's up?
She's here.
Yeah. This Batmaid, who's an NPC in one of the areas. But if you use the Nature Goddess effect, she gets a bunch of hearts over her head and gets all snuggly with you. In this household, we stand sapphic Batmaids and put them in very furry. Side note, if any of y'all go back home and use a weapon effect and kill her in the game, it's gonna be flippers on sight next time I see you guys. I likes the sapphic Batmaid. So, Uneven Dream. This is the first of the 2 games I worked on. And, of course, as a developer that's a furry, of course I put a bunch of furry BS in the game. So, I personally was the one who implemented the turtle effect. This allows Kubo to switch back and forth between it. Yeah, that's my artwork. That you can switch back and forth between an Afro turtle and a Schmal turtle. Schmal turtle allows you to go places. Also, I put a cameo for the character GT Cat Kid. GT Cat Kid was my first OC I came up with when I was 4 or 5. I was doing crayon doodles of this character and pretending to be them. And so I've made it my calling card for any game I'm a serious developer on, High Copper, any game I'm doing serious development, to put at least one Cat Kid cameo. I'm sorry, putting your 5-year-old self's persona into a game is a very furry thing to do. Next, we get the works of Ray Raccoon. I did not know these existed until my boss, Rob, the boss that works on Uneven Dream, pointed that out when reading my script. All of the fan games, all 10 of them this developer has made, are furry. I'm just gonna plop them all in very furry for now, and then the next time I do this panel, I'll make sure to play all 10 of them to figure out which ones they go. But still, if you want to explore some dreams as some animals, this is the game for you. Yume Wheelie, you get to play as a hamster, and you explore hamster dreams. I'm just gonna rank that as furry. By the way, I met the creator of this game in person. She was very nice. I bought one of her t-shirts. So, Drawing with Nat. This game I forgot about until somebody said I should have it in the panel. I haven't played it yet, but you play as a kitty cat named Nat, and she's very cute. And I'm just going to put it in furry tier for now. If you have any problems, go ask Moxie here if it's furry or very furry. And the big one, in Yume Nikki. This is a massive fan game, like 5 gigabytes massive. There is 13,000 dream worlds you can explore. This game has been in development since 2007. You get a wolf girl effect. You turn into a little wolf. You can also wear the wolf effect when you're riding the motorcycle. It's very cute. If you hit the spacebar button, or hold down the spacebar button, it causes her to go, awoo! This is a video game with a dedicated awoo button! That is a very furry thing!
I'll heal you a move button.
So, yes, that one goes into very furry. And that ends our lightning round. When more people show up. Hi, more people.
A woo button.
Yeah, just any video game with a dedicated awoo button is very furry. Okay, what's our next game? Okay, you know, I haven't looked at this script this entire time. This is all from memory. So I guess I'm doing alright. Our next game is, we're cutting to 2008 for another one of my favorites. Mortis Ghost is Off. Batter Up. Y'all remember Off, right? Bad baseball man beats up ghosts with bats. You guys have seen the Markiplier Let's Play, right? It'll be on the test later. But if you need a refresher, you play as a batter. You're on a sacred mission to purify the land of all of its evil ghosts. You do this by bonking it with a baseball bat. Don't ask me why they bleed. I guess ectoplasm is red. And throughout it, you question your morality, because the more you purify the things, the more actually destructive it looks. Now, this is one of my favorite games. I cannot wait for the Switch remake that's coming out. Yeah, no, I've been listening to the new Toby Fox songs for that whenever I'm getting ready for work. They're bangers. But what makes it furry? So, in my opinion, Bad Batter, I mean, he's not directly a furry, but I'm sorry, that has the aura of somebody from Amino during 2017. Just saying. Then you got Zachary. Zachary wears these masks at all times, and he swaps around between which ones he wears, depending on what role he's doing in the story. Kind of like swapping around personas. Might be a little bit of a stretch here, but yeah. I count that as a tad furry. And then you got the kitty cats, the Judge and Valerie. The Judge follows you throughout the game, kind of being like a Cheshire Cat guide type, while Valerie is his brother. Talking kitty cats is pretty furry. They also have these results in the funny blue e-site. So, yeah, that, in my opinion, makes it a tad furry. Okay, what's our next game? Okay, going way into 2013, we get our one exception for the fan game rule. Super Lesbian Horse RPG. In Super Lesbian Horse RPG, you play as Fluttershy and her girlfriend Rainbow Dash. You guys are just trying to have a date, but then Twilight Sparkle decided to build a dungeon in your basement as a bonding exercise. And then you guys go to the dungeon, and then it gets corrupted, and you fight Jarvis. He is a reality-bending wizard with a VHS tape for a head. After you guys have your little talk, he kicks you out of the dungeon, and the next day Twilight Sparkle's like, we gotta find this guy, we gotta go out and research him, there's a TV head guy in my dungeon. So you guys drag Applejack along on your little JRPG adventure. In this game, this is gonna sound so weird, and I know the title of it's like Super Lesbian Horse RPG, so you think it's gonna be crude or silly. No, this stuff is wholesome. This is a wholesome PG game. It's just they're all lesbian couples for some reason. Like, I adored the gag where it's like Rarity has a Southern Idioms dictionary for her girlfriend Applejack, and I am missing the slide, but one of the other slides is the Cutie Mark Crusaders are the shopkeeps in this game. They're trying to see if they can get their JRPG shopkeep Cutie Mark. That's also really cute.
Probably.
Yeah. Also, tangent. Okay, so they take the main 6 and they slice them up into 3 lesbian couples. And I swear to God, the Mandela effect is real because I thought they were all in a 6-pony ponicule, but I guess I was wrong. There's the slide. There's the slide. So yeah, it's a JRPG. You fight bad guys, and yeah, and you have oh, I meant forgetting. Do what?
Oh yes, I definitely want to play Rainbow Dash and beat up people.
Yes. Yeah, no. Yeah, she's like the fast one, kind of the thief type. Applejack is like the big old strong one. Fluttershy's the healer, and Twilight's the mage. But yeah, this game you can do a variety of stuff in battle, including being able to kiss your girlfriend in battle. Yeah, no, you got a dedicated Kiss Fluttershy button or Kiss Rainbow Dash button, and you can kiss your girlfriend in battle.
Do you get any effects from this?
Oh, it boosts their stats. So yeah, you can kiss your girlfriend to boost their stats. And this was the exact moment my friend Dre, when reading my script, turned to me and was like, no, this needs to be our first dangerously furry game, even though I was originally going to rank it as like very furry. And after a back and forth, I think I have to agree with him. Hey little Timmy, what are you playing? I'm playing the video game where Rainbow Dash and Fluttershy kiss to boost our attack stats. So yeah, this game is gonna get a dangerously furry. Overall, I really liked it. It's cute, it's simple and short. You wanna know who didn't like it? Papa Hasbro. They got hit with a cease and desist. And so, after a decade, the game gets heavily reworked into Super Lesbian Animal RPG, a game I wish I had more time to talk about. It is a game that basically takes the same kind of base premise. You still got Jarvising around, you still got lesbians getting their dates interrupted by basement building, but it is a full-fledged, like, 20-hour RPG. That one is super cute. That one I'm gonna rank as very furry because it's a very furry thing to kiss your girlfriend in battle to boost their stats. But it's a dangerously furry thing to kiss your girlfriend Rainbow Dash in battle. just saying. Alright, I'm gonna double check. What's my next game on the slide here? Yeah, no, this is all off of my memory. Okay, I know which one's next. Okay, jumping ahead to 2014, we get my second favorite game of all time, or a favorite RPG Maker game of all time. We're talking about Lisa the Painful, and then later it's DLC Lisa the Joyful. In Lisa the Painful, you play as Brad Armstrong, a very, very broken man who finds himself in a post-apocalypse where all of the women got killed off. It is just men. And then one day he finds a baby girl who's still alive. He has immense guilt on his back because he wasn't there for his sister before her sister passed, long before the apocalypse. So he sees this as his second chance at actually being there for somebody, and adopts her. Though, the secret can't be kept forever, and many, many years later, word gets out and she goes missing. And Brad sees this as his opportunity to take 35 years worth of guilt and trauma out on any sort of creep or pervert that has any ill intentions for his daughter. And so you go through all of the areas beating up guys who are after your daughter. You're also recruiting other party members on your cause to be a dad. Yeah, I was supposed to use that slide for there. I'm sorry. I love Brad as a character. He's incredibly flawed, but he is trying so hard to be a dad. He might be failing at it at points. He still has a struggle of addiction. He still has a struggle of guilt. But I found it to be really powerful from a storytelling perspective. The game, also from its gameplay standpoint, you have to deal with a lot of really bad stuff happening to you, and I find its gameplay to be weirdly addictive. I think I might be a maniac. So yeah, In this game, you have a bunch of potentially horrible things happening. You might lose party members, you might lose limbs, you have to go through all of that. But I find it so rewarding to get past that and then make it to the end with Brad. So I find that really addictive in its own right, even though to some people it's like, do I want to play a game where I can choose between my party member and losing my limbs? So yeah, fun may vary for who it is. For me, I love this one. Those party members are why it makes the game furry. So yeah, there is 30 party members you can recruit. They can die, so yeah, there's a reason for why there's a lot of them. And there's some furry ones. So in regards to Anthros, we only got 2. Harvey Alabaster, Fishman Lawyer. I made him into a plushie. That was in 2017, he's my first plushie. And Carp. Harvey, so the Fishman race, they became sentient after the apocalypse occurred. And Harvey saw how lawless it was, so he became a lawyer. As for Carp, he is a knife-fighting, tattooed fishman who protects orphans. So they're the only 2 Anthros we get to play as. But this has one final thingy that I failed to mention. This is the only games with furries in it. As in you guys, the subculture, people with personas, and who wear fursuits. So, we are furry party members. You got Geese Thomas. He is a rhyming serial killer that lives in a hotel that has a goose persona. You got Flyman, who is a man from Garbage Island who has his fly sona. Are fly people furries? And Tiger Man. He is a tiger fursuit wearing dojo buster. He goes to dojos to like kick everybody's butt. You can recruit him as a party member. And you learn he's trained... Oh.
For Flyman, what would be a term for, like, people with fly sonas? Like, I mean, you got, like, dinosaurs and stuff.
Buzzies.
You know, buggies?
Buzzies.
Buzzies.
Buzzies?
I'm okay with buzzies. Buzzies is a fun phrase for that. Yeah, going forward is
The Buzzy Fuzzy.
Well, actually, bug expert. What would you name a person with a fly sona? We're thinking buzzies.
I would call them the love of my life.
Okay, I found your husbando. His name is Flyman.
Hi, Flyman.
He rides shopping carts. And getting back up light. And then we get Tiger Man. Tiger Man, I explained all that already. You do learn he's learned by some Big Lincoln fella. We don't get to learn who Big Lincoln is until the next game, jumping a little bit ahead of the timeline to Lisa the Joyful. This...
Sorry to interrupt, but so Lisa, I always thought it was. I never realized it was an RPG Maker game because it looks like a bit of mob or
Yeah!
from a top-down. So
It uses RPG Maker as its game engine, but it uses special code to make it side-scroller.
so it's a side-scroller, right?
It's a side-scroller, but it is made in RPG Maker.
Okay.
So yeah, there's a couple of other ones like that. One of the games I cut for time was Dreaming Mary that also has a side-scrolling perspective. Another game I recommend, it just wasn't that funny. Okay, can I go back and point?
Yes.
Okay, so in Lisa the Joyful, you play as Buddy. Yeah, the daughter to Brad. A bunch of horrible stuff happens to her, and then she's like, at the end of the last game, and she's like, enough is enough. So she gets the idea to go to every single warlord and kill each of them. Because here's the thing, nobody would be a creep towards me if everybody's terrified of me. And honestly, I think I can agree with you on there. So yeah, you play as your little pint-sized psychopath in this like No More Heroes style boss rush, going to warlord and fighting them. You see on the list, you got one at the top, Big Lincoln. You keep hearing about this guy. He's the strongest warlord in the entire apocalypse. Big Lincoln, Big Lincoln. You beat his goons. He talks about it. Yeah, no, I suppose he's this slide. And so you go to his base, and you walk for miles across all these crosses. Each one is one of the people he's beaten. And then you get to his boss rooms. And then you start, and it's like black, it's all full of like dead stuff. And then you see some glowing eyes. This is mother freaking Big Lincoln. Big Lincoln is a Native American biker furry who wears his fursuit head into battle and can punch people into hell.
Badass.
Oh my.
And he is canonically the strongest warlord in all of Alepha. That makes me so confident when the bombs drop. We're gonna be fine. We're gonna be at the top. So, that puts me in an odd spot for how I want to rank these games. Because on paper, I would put them at very furry. But here's the thing. These are the only ones with actual furries in it. The rest just have Anthros. So arguably, this is the most furry out of all of these games. So for now, I'm just putting them in their own tier. I'm gonna sort it out after this panel. Okay, I'm doing good on time. On to our next game. So, this is Oneshot. This came out in 2014. In it, you play a little scrambly cat boy named Nico. He loves...
Good game.
Indeed, I'm about to explain. He loves pancakes, he wants to get home to his mom. Okay, I lied. You don't play as Nico. You play as the person with the keyboard and mouse. You are your own character in the universe. And you, the player, are the god of the world that Nico wakes up in. And you guiding Nico makes him your messiah, according to the NPCs. And so you have these conversations back and forth with you as the player, talking to Nico, being concerned. You guys' goal, actually, is to take this little light bulb, and take it to the top of the tower to screw it back in. And bring all the light back into the world. Because it's all dark. This game also has one other thing going, or actually two things going on. A lot of the puzzles do the fourth wall breaking stuff where like it generates files in your computer, so like you're going through your own computer to try to find puzzle clues for the actual game itself. Really meta. Also, there's one other thing. This game has two versions, the Freewear version and the Soul version. I played only the Freewear version, so I'm going to talk from that perspective for a moment. In the Freewear version, there's one additional mechanic. Your life force for Nico is connected to the game window. So if you turn off the game for any reason when you're not in a safe spot, it kills Nico. You get blood on your hands, innocent cat boy blood.
Oh my goodness.
And the game leaves a file on your computer so that even if you uninstall and reinstall it, Nico's still dead.
That's so evil.
And there's multiple endings. So like the name says, you got one shot to beat the game. Don't mess it up.
That's why I played straight through.
Exactly. So, in my opinion, this is the scariest video game I've ever played in my life. Just hands down. Just I have never had a game scare me as much as this game. And it's the cute one with the little cat boy. Not anything that scary happens, it's just that mechanic alone is terrifying. There you are, pretty kitty. Speaking of pretty kitties, we're talking about Oneshot. Yes?
I will say a game that did kind of scare me was back in 2015 when I first played Undertale.
Fair. It has some medicine here. Yes.
I want to say the mechanics that Oneshot actually implemented, where it actually read your computer name and actually implemented your computer into the game as well. When I first played it, it was the first game that I ever experienced that mechanic with, and it was scary.
No kidding. Yeah, one of the things I scrapped from the script was that exactly. Yes.
You desperately need to play the paid version. It is very good.
I've seen. I was just about to talk about it for a moment.
Okay.
So yeah, they made a paid version. It polishes it up. It also tweaks it a bit. From my understanding, you might be able to explain this one better. It gets rid of the you stay dead, but it does the Undertale caught in the cookie jar thing of fourth wall breaking, hey, this is your second run.
You get 3.
Oh.
So in the paid version, if you close it 3 times, then it's dead.
Okay.
You get a couple of fuck-ups there.
Okay, so I got misinformation from
So that
somebody.
pretty much means after that you can't play the game no more.
I think if you uninstall and reinstall Steam, it will let you. But it's pretty difficult.
So yeah, it's not as hardcore as OG Oneshot, but still.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get why they do this. I can respect that. Do you really want to play $9.99 for a game to commit seppuku if you do something wrong? I didn't think so. But yeah, going back to the point of this panel, what makes him furry? Nico is the MPV in this one. I'm sorry, play as a cute little cat boy who likes pancakes. That's a furry game. It doesn't do anything that you go, okay, it's by a furry, but still, it's gonna safely go in the furry tier. All right, what's our next game? Okay, so we're gonna go back in the timeline for a little bit to 2010 Space Funeral. You guys are aware of that. So in Space Funeral, you play as a crying man in pajamas named Philip and his sidekick, the Leg Horse, who is a horse made out of human legs stitched together, and talks like a Victorian gentleman. In this, you're trying to save the corrupted world, because it's all corrupted, and trying to decorrupt it. It is a really good game that I enjoy. It is also not a furry game. I'm sorry, that is not a furry. I'm putting my flipper down. That is a human in a funny shape. So yeah, no, that is not a furry game. But similar to Yume Nikki, it inspired a whole bunch. Yes?
Well, next con, once I come with that, with my light horse fursuit, you're gonna have to change your rating.
Bet. I saw a Philip cosplay once where it was like a mascot head to kind of have like that big like little lumpy guy look, but still. But I've not seen and they had a leg horse plushie. But I've never seen a leg horse fursuit. I can't wait to see that though. Anyways, so it inspired a bunch of fan games, including our next game, and I'm gonna butcher the title. Hiya. Super Space Marine 4 Deluxe Blood version and Bubsy. Released in 2014. In this game, it starts off as like a pseudo remake of Space Marine 16-bit. Everybody has tongue-in-cheek dialogue until you fall down a hole in the blood cave. You wake up in a grassy field that looks nothing like Space Marine. You fight some Redditors who hate furries, and then you wake up and you find a furry village, just filled with anthropomorphic animals, all tongue-in-cheek dialogue. You learn to get back home. You need to find 4 magic toilets and pour purple drink down them, each creating a portal. Once all 4 portals are made, you can go home and go back to the plot of Space Funeral. I'm not making that up.
That's awesome.
So, in this game, you get to do stuff like fight furry Will Smith. Not so furry Bill Cosby. Go to a My Little Pony spoof the Spanish donkey village, complete with churro trees and sugar skull houses. Free the slaves from there. Help Funktown get its funk back. It's stolen funk. And fight a blueberry Pop-Tarts that a scientist hired you to assassinate that he brought to life because the purple Pop-Tart stole a dragon toy by a certain manufacturer we all know from him. I am not making up any of those examples.
So creative.
Yeah.
Very creative.
In this game, you don't do it with just Philip and Lake Horse. You get 2 additional party members. Stoner Dracula, fan favorite from the first game, is now playable. And, as the title spoiled, Bubsy from the hit game Bubsy 3D. But here's a thing. Bubsy looks a little different now than we last saw them. That's Bubsy. Yeah, since the last time she was in a video game, she has transitioned, gotten to certain kinds of work I cannot say during this panel, and crash landed on the Space Marine planet, and it's your 4th party member. You guys are reading that text correctly. Fellas, she's single. There's a little dating sim mini game with her. She's not with her previous boyfriend. Conquer the squirrel.
Oh. I'm pretty sure he's having another bad birthday.
Yeah. I mean, in this, I'm gonna go tangent from in this scene, he's protecting you from Sanic. So, who just has a rivalry in Bubsy in this game. So yeah, going back to her for a moment, she's also the reason this game never got finished. Similar to the Super Lesbian Horse RPG instance, when the Bubsy reboot came out, the creator of this game got into some legal troubles, and so they scrapped the game and reworked into another game. A game I've not played yet, so come back next time I do this panel to see if it is as unhinged as this. I do admit I like Bubsy's depiction in this. She's a little flanderized, not to the point of being offensive, but good. I adored the sequence where it's like Magic Hand from Earthbound, where it's going through her mind, and you slowly see her transition throughout, down to checking the menu, and you see her face sprite being different forms of being trans, from original Bubsy to the one you see in the game. That one was really cute.
That's so cool.
What I didn't like, though, is this game had a lot of really offensive, edgy, 2010 internet humor. To me, I found it a little grating, but I found enough fun stuff that I was okay with that. Where it's okay, I can put up with the edgelord stuff. So you do you if this is going to be a game for you. But yeah. Now so you know that, how furry is it? So in this game, you can have your trans femme Bubsy flash her yarn balls at a nightmare fuel version of Princess Celestia, who is the one holding the slaves, all while show tunes are playing. Yeah, that's dangerously furry. Though, not the most cursed game. I dread this, that's gonna be our next game. Jumping 4 years into the future, Alright, I foreshadowed earlier. Let's talk about the funny goo game.
Yes.
So, it changed. 2018's changed. You play as this little boy in shorts. I don't think he gets a name.
Are you going to spoil it or something then?
I'm gonna meme on it, not gonna spoil it.
Okay.
So, in Change, you're in this laboratory, and you find this laboratory, it's filled with creatures. Furry creatures. Big furry creatures that all they want to do is get their goo all over you. If you get their goo on you, you turn into a furry. They just so want to get your goo on them. Phrasing. And so this is like a stealth action game where you're trying to sneak past these guys. You also do some puzzles, you're trying to not get hit by them and stuff like that. And this game, there is an absurd amount of custom animations for every single enemy in the game. They all have a custom animation for what they get you. And on 99% of them I cannot show you because they all have very suggestive poses and stuff. I had to crop that one. So, this is what I thought when before I played the game. And this is what I thought afterwards.
Nice.
So, yeah, in this game, it is a stealth action game. We're trying to avoid all of these furry goo monsters. They're just so after you. And anytime you get close to any of them, it's game over. You're gonna get gooed on by a furry. Certain jokes about After Dark here. And so, yeah, most of these images I can't show you. I spent so long last night trying to find images I can show in this panel. It was hell.
There is Pearl's little, like, hidden room.
I mean, fair, but you're right. Also, I skipped over Purro. Purro is the one that had the plushie earlier. He's a goo monster that doesn't want to goop you. He is like, oh, you're one of the last ungooed humans, so let me make sure you're safe. Purro's a certified good boy. I get why he says Bondo. But yeah, why can't I show half of these images? Why are they so lumpy in places? Ah! So, yeah. In this game, you're sneaking past all of these things. You're sneaking past, you're doing puzzles, you're doing quick time events because the goo monster gets close to you, all that stuff. And then you're gonna inevitably get gooed, and then you're gonna be in a suggestive pose for like what feels like forever, showing off what your mama and the goo monster gave you. And yeah, it is a very notorious game. So, how many of these animations there are? So I went on YouTube and I found a compilation. Yeah, a compilation. It is 2 hours, 47 minutes, and 33 seconds long of custom animations of just you being turned into a furry.
Really?
Yeah.
And they're quite detailed.
Yeah.
The game is also very hard.
Yeah, no, it's a rage game. It's one of the few games
It's a rage game for some people, not all.
It's rage bait and bait in a different context.
Oh boy, I wonder what I'm gonna look like now.
Fair. Okay, on to our next game. I was gonna say, on to our next game. It better be something wholesome, something nice, a nice palate cleanser. Oh gosh dang it! Okay, so in Fear and Hunger, you select one of 4 mercenaries. You're all off on a mission to go to the dungeon of Fear and Hunger. Let me go, which is a dungeon that warps things and is like a very like nightmare feel one. You get Kahara. He is a mercenary hired to go get this guy named Lagarde who's trapped there, and he's going to use that money to help his wife and future kid. Darcy is one of the knights that work for Lagarde and has a big old massive crush on Lagarde, so of course she's going to go after her snookums. Ragnabalder, we're skipping Enki for a moment. Ragnabalder is this big, strong barbarian. It's also looking for Lagarde. Yeah, no, he's gonna find Lagarde and he's gonna dunk on him. And then there's Enki. He's just there. He's just studying the horrors of the dungeon. He finds fun. So in this dungeon, everything wants you dead. This game on the surface looks like a JRPG, but that is a mistake. This is a survival horror game with JRPG combat. You can die so incredibly easy in this game. You can have your limbs cut off just really quickly. There is coin flips in this game that if you fail to coin flip, something horrific happens to you. And you're all trying to manage your body, your mind, and your hunger. You're constantly having your food deplete in this game. Now, in addition to the horrors of the dungeon, you also got its story, and God, I love its story and its lore. This is the kind of game where I dig on the wiki for hours on end, reading about all the little obscure gods the developer created. I love it. What we can also find in the dungeon are furries. So, what makes it furry? So, first of all, early on in the game, you can find these masked guys. They have little mask cults, and they do activities associated with their respective animal. Giggity. Then you got Moonless, the very, very good girl of the dungeon. She is a wolf you can recruit. You can't control directly what she does, but she does her best. Then you get Crow Mauler, who chases you throughout the dungeon throughout. Now, if you remember those coin flips, one of the gameplay mechanics is if you try to save, you get a coin flip. If heads, you save. If tails, something horrible happens to you. 9 times out of 10 is the Crow Mauler knocking on your bed. Yeah, I was gonna say, he is the only character of any of these games I would say just one singular word to. Wood. Moving on, we get Pocket Cat. Pocket Cat is this weird Cheshire Cat type guy that you can find. He's the servant of a trickster god, and he can sell you items in exchange for your child party members. So, I would recommend selling children to the man who always has his hand in his pocket, but you do you, boo-boo. He also is in the sequel to this game, Fear and Hunger 2. Jumping to our newest game, 2022's Fear and Hunger 2 Termina, it starts off in Fantasy World War I, way farther in the timeline. In this game, you are one of 14 people that were in a train ride, and it gets derailed. You learn that your train got derailed in this town because a trickster god wanted to invite you to a festival. The Festival of Termina, which has driven the inhabitants mad, and his reason for you there is he wants 14 contestants and to have them all fight to the death. His goal is to have at least one of you survive it until the end. In this, you also get to select between, instead of the 4, you get the 8. You get 8 of the 14 contestants. Levi, the soldier with the smack problem. Marina, the trans-femme necromancer. I take that. Dan, the Tumblr sexy man doctor. Abigail, the mechanic. Osa, the yellow mage. Marco, the Jonathan Joestar-looking boxer. Karen, the reporter. She reported on wars, you know. And my favorite, Olivia. She is a wheelchair-bound botanist with a shotgun. Tangent time. As a person who spent 7 years in a wheelchair and only just got healthy, I likes the wheelchair-bound botanist with a shotgun. Thank you for the representation.
You should have been given a shot.
Exactly.
Arm the seal.
Exactly.
Arm the seal.
So yeah, in regards to its gameplay, it plays a lot like the first game, but it takes place in World War I, so you also get guns, so that's also a mechanic. The game also has an entirely different saving mechanic. Instead of the coin flips for saving, you have limited save slots, and because you sleep and you wake up another part of the festival. So you go and get 9 save slots before you trigger a game over. Unless you unlock some other ways of saving. Yeah, so yeah. I am a sneaky fat gamer seal who has not beaten this game. This is one of the few games on this list I have not beaten. So, in the game, this is the game's world map. You start off here, and the farthest I've gotten is the church. So, yeah, this is the farthest I've gotten. So yeah, if you told me in the game's ending that Osa had a persona, I would not be surprised. I could not argue. But I've seen enough of the game to know that it's way furrier than the first game. So, you get a Pocket Cat again in this game. Instead of children, he is buying the remains of a dead contestant as a way of encouraging y'all to take this battle royale seriously and not be singing Kumbaya. You also got the goat of the game. The goat. You bribe him with carrots to be in the party. You also got snail guys on the church basement. Are snail people furries? And then the one that made me do a double take. You fight this boss, Rancid the Sergal. You find him in the church, but then you fight him later. For those who are unaware, a Sergal is this race of shark-like furry people from a furry sci-fi novel series that became popular in the fandom. Think kind of like in the popularity camp of a protogen. If you're species has a wiki fur page. I'm sorry, that is a very furry thing. I can't put into words how many tonal whiplash I got when I fought Circle, because it felt like the same thing as trying to find a boy kisser in the middle of Dark Souls. Same tone-wise. So, yeah, no. So, a very earned, very furry for Fear and Hunger 2, and a tad furry for the original. You can argue with me afterwards if those are good rankings or not. Okay, on to our next game. Our next game asks questions that philosophers have been trying to figure out for a long time. Questions is, what does it mean to be human? What does this mean to be alive? And the question, what if we remade Daydreaming Davy but made it about lions and depression? This is 2019's Lenin the Lion. This is a game I have a very interesting connection with. So, many years ago, 7 years ago, the creator of this game just slides into my DMs and tells me about it, his blog, and is like, you should check it out. It looks like kind of the stuff that you're into. And I'm like, okay, cool. I then proceed to forget about the game for the next 7 years. Cut to me writing this panel, and then I was like, wait a second, did they ever make that lion game? And boy, howdy they did. In Lenin the Lion, you play as the titular lion. He is an albino lion cub in the middle of a lion village. He is the only one. And he is bullied relentlessly in this game. Like, he's just a boy! Stop bullying this little man! It's gonna be flippers on sight if I ever am in this lion village. Okay, and so this game has a loop going on. I'm gonna boil it down for a second. This is the Lenin the Lion cycle. So, throughout the game, you are awake in the world, you get knocked out, you wake up in a dream world, you're missing your backpack, you try to go find it, you find that the inhabitants have some sort of problem going on, and usually the problem is some sort of metaphor for depression. Like acid rain keeping people in their homes, sheep being forced to take pills that put them to sleep forever, like an art gallery being on fire, stuff like that. You help the locals in this, and then you fight a boss that is a manifestation of a depression symptom. You beat the boss and collect its keychain to represent you got past that symptom, and then you wake up. And that's the cycle. This game does this like 4 or 5 times, and then you beat it. There we go.
Slamming.
I would cry if this stopped working. And, okay, I'm boiling it down, but I really liked this game. It is such a sweet game at times. It's such a sweet game at times, and also such a dark game at times. Okay, yes, you have all those NPCs that are just so nasty to you, but you gotta focus on the positive. You also have a gameplay mechanic where you're trying to juggle like how you talk to these NPCs, focus on the positive, the negative, and focus on the positives or the negatives, and you kind of have to balance that. Is that my chair?
Yeah, I think it's the
Yeah, and you have to balance it out. Do too much with the nice camp, you're too much of a people pleaser. If you're too aggressive in it, you're not setting your boundaries well. I liked that. I'm being...
The cable is loose.
Plug it in more.
Alright. Where the frick is it? I'm just gonna... There. Ta-da! Problem solved. Okay. And so, yeah. I found it to be a really sweet game. I wish I could show more, but... Like, I have a little bit of time, but still, I don't want to risk it. And so, yeah, I highly recommend this one. So yeah, random guy in my Tumblr Ask box. You made a very good game, seal of approval. But is it furry? I mean, everybody in this game is a furry. All of the inhabitants of the dream worlds are different species of animals. In the wake world, it's all lions. Yeah, it's a furry game. Simple as that. Okay, what's our next game? Okay, so jumping to 2020, we get Omori, a game I was very hyped for. And then I never beat, because a butterfly flopped its wings in the other room, and I forgot to finish it. It was one of those for me. I was supposed to put a slide of another fake gamer sealed card. So I'm going to try my best to sell you on the game, even though I have not beaten it yet, and I try my best not to spoil it. So in Omori, you play as this little black and white boy of the same name in white space, which is this like sub-reality area in this boy's head. You exit out of it and you decide to explore the dream world more with your friends. You got Hero, Kel, begins with an A. I'm a fake gamer. And yeah, you explore it. You also slowly see it kind of unravel. You see a little under element of all the horrible stuff that Omori's trying to like deassociate from. This game jumps back and forth between cute little wholesome game and horror game, back and forth. You also get some segments where you play in the real world for the actual boy Omori, or what he's called in the real world. I'm not spoiling it. So yeah, this game gets very emotional, both in its story and it's in gameplay. So in its gameplay, there's an emotion-based system. Characters can get these different emotions in battle. They can do stuff that make each other feel stuff. Enemies can do that. And they have different stat buffs. They also act like a little weapon triangle, which one, if you have one of them, it beats another. So you're trying to juggle all these emotions while you're battling. You also get different levels of it. Like, each of these levels makes the buff stronger and the debuff stronger. So like happy, for example, if you're manic, you're super duper lucky and fast, but you can't hit the side of a barn. So yeah. You have that going on. You also, with these party members, they all have different gameplay on the overworld. That's really cute. I haven't played too much of it. I need to go back and finish it again. I'm a fake gamer. But from what I've seen, it's good. What I've also seen, there's furries. This game, in its dream world, have a bunch of random furries in it for some reason. You got rhinos in overalls. You got bear fishermen, big cat guys, alligator bodyguards, and my favorite, Mr. Johnson the shark. He is one of the bosses. Are shark people fur? I mean, if they can run a furry con, I mean, that's pretty furry. Okay, and thus, this game gets at least a tad furry. I need to beat this one to figure out if I want to move it up and down, but still. I'm doing great on time. Holy cow. Okay, our next game is going to be the other Yume Nikki like I skipped over. 2021's Deathbed Lullabye. It was made by some pretentious seal and her mommy who isn't in the audience, which was going to be originally. I wonder who made this. Guess it's important. Not that important. So, in Deathbed Lullabye, you play as Tikwa. Tikwa is a 37-year-old jazz singer from Mexico, and she's terminally ill. So during the daytime segments, you're in your hospital bed, you're talking to your loved ones, that's your sister. You get visits from Santa Muerte, who she's seeing more of each of the days when she's closer to when she's gonna pass. And then during the night segments, you explore her dream world, similar to Yume Nikki. But here's the thing, you can only save during the daytime, and you can only make progress in the nighttime. The goal of the game is to find these hearts. These hearts are rewarded to you whenever you get Tikwa past a guilt or regret that will keep her from passing on. If you're unable to find all the hearts, it's gonna trigger the purgatory ending on night 7, because on night 7, you have no more days left. It forces you to trigger an ending. And so the game's gonna loop until you get her to finally get past everything that's keeping her from passing on. So yeah. The idea with this one was like it's a mashup of like Yume Nikki and Majora's Mask. I'm skipping way far ahead. Okay, so what you also find in this dream world, besides for sad story beats, is furries. So, this is Jackie. Jackie was Tikwa's childhood dog, who Tikwa has regret in her twilight days that she didn't spend enough time with. You can find her Jackie's soul in the dream world, because the idea is that the afterlife is starting to merge with the dream world. And they are very, very, very happy when they reunite. You also get the ability, when you get them to reunite, you both get a heart, and anytime you want, you can ride on Jackie's back. Doggo can go zoom. You find Jackie in the middle of Dead Animal Village. In Dead Animal Village, you have each of these little angelic, like little Saban-looking animals, and each of them cryptically ask you, where are your halo and wings? Or about Bosnia. But in this area, you find another NPC if you go on the side. You find this big rainbow beach and a quail. A quail who is in a bikini. According to the developer, this showed up in her dreams, and so so let me get super small. Showed up in her dreams, and it's just okay. Let's just recycle this. Yeah, right. We believe that. Totally, that's the reason. What a degenerate. Dangerously furry. Okay, and with time to spare, we're at our final game. And I'm hearing some of y'all in your head. These games are not furry enough. Where's something? Where's a game where you mainly gets advertised on Fur Affinity? What is it? These games aren't furry
I'm
enough.
scared.
Oh no.
Buckle up, Buttercups. It's time for Earthquake Warriors, the Fat Furry RPG. In Earthquake Warriors, you play as a titular band of vigilantes named the Earthquake Warriors. They all fight bad guys and are big boned in some way, and proud of it. This game has a whole bunch of fat puns. The developer is self-aware. And so, you guys are on a mission to fight the Wolfman Gar. So, Wolfman Gar, as a child, got bullied for having big feet. So, what is the healthy and normal response for being bullied as a child? That's right, domestic terrorism! Yay! So, he kidnaps a bunch of the bullies, and you guys go in and try to rescue them. You bust into their warehouse. And so it's just big bone bad guy battling action. I played this game. I beat this game. So I'm going to talk about that. So in Earthquake Warriors, you get to select between one of eight original Chungai. You got Ricky the club wielding a possum, Toasty the school teacher boar healer, my girl Maya the alligator sumo wrestler, Arte, I never learned how to pronounce them, I should have done that in the hotel room. Arte the rat and his boy Tyrone, they're both big old rats. Balakiri the squirrel inflatable pool toy. And Yuki the space alien. You can recruit more Chungai to your team throughout the game. You can swap them around. It's still giving you very much like a Final Fantasy 1 vibe of you got all these different job classes, but not enough slots. Also, if you decide to go solo in the game, actually no, let me do my tangent. So forget about Dobbins. So Dobbins, he's a kickboxing bear, and he was my original Chungai of choice at the start of the game. He has some of the most grating dialogue out of any of these games I've ever played. Because he will spend his entire game saying that, oh, I'm going to do blank, so it's going to make my rap career better. Yeah, no, I'm going to go save, hey, some innocents. If I save them, maybe recognition may launch my singing career. We get it, you're a SoundCloud rapper, shut up. So this is why I switched to Maya. Okay. Still good gameplay-wise, but still. Yeah, no, whichever Chungai of choice you pick as the starting character affects all the dialogue of the game, so be aware. So that does also add a level of replayability. In addition, you can also decide to fly solo, and if you do, it allows you to use a GG gem. Okay, wrong slide, but sure. When you use a GG gem, it turns into a big old Chungus that has a bajillion health, does a bajillion damage, and super changy. Basically, the idea is you become a boss monster. But you are only solo, so it's kind of like a trade-off there. So yeah, in addition to all the party customizability, you also get the solo runs as well. So there's a lot of replayability in this game. The Fat Furry RPG has replayability. Cool. Also, because I have time, I'm going to ramble for a little bit. In this game, how you get skills is very interesting. You get these little items that give you one-time uses of spells or attacks, but if you find a kiosk, you can exchange them for permanently learning the spell. So it makes a fun, painful choice. Do I use this healing spell now, or do I wait until I find a kiosk and learn it permanently? And this comes from the Fat Furry game, so I'm surprised that no other game beat it to it. This game gets pretty unhinged at times. You're going for like the warehouses and stuff, you're fighting these bad guys, and then you blink and you miss it, and you're turning yourself into green goo to go through pipes. You take a potion to turn into green goo. Yeah, you're chasing bad guys and you turn into goo. And then you go to a teleport pad and you end up in the digital world, and you fight gosh dang Digimon. I should have got a screenshot of Renmon. She also has a little MS Paint doodle as well. And then you're going through there, and then you fight gosh dang Big Matt, who sings his battle theme, think Great Mighty Pooh style, I'm Big Matt, Matt. And I'm just sitting here being like, am I a nitrous oxide? And I haven't even talked about the pink elephants. I have to cut them for time. There's pink elephants in this game. So yeah, this is going to be the weirdest, hear me out of this entire panel. But I had fun with Earthquake Warriors. Like, genuinely, I thought it was a really cute little game. I don't really know much about the Fat Fur scene, so it's not really my thing, but from a gameplay standpoint, I respect that. I see a lot of love in this game, and I can't wait to see the developer do more with it. Now, how furry is it? How furry is this game? I'm almost done. This is the final game, Corbo. How furry is this game?
Dangerously.
Very furry.
Gigantically?
Heavily furry.
Heavily, I get it.
And with that, we rank our final game. So, that is all the games I was gonna cover. Or I had time for cover. There was 4 games I cut for time. Dreaming Mary, which is a cute little one, exploring a dream world, and there's Furry little on PCs. It's also a horror game, but it's cute. Melon's Journey, which is one where you play as 2 bunny people and you're in an animal village. Yeah, I cut all those for time. I'm giving them the honor belt mentions.
That's a good one.
That one is a good one. I cut Super Lesbian Animal RPG, so I was going to talk way more about that one. Death Cat 13 was another one I found from that German website, which was like a little kitty cat and like a genetically modified and you're bopping robots. And the entire game's in German, so I played it with Google Translate. Because Mama didn't raise no quitter. So yeah, that's our games. Go play some of them. I hope there was at least 1 or 2 of them you guys are going to go back and play.
Some of them I've already played.
You what?
Some I've already played myself.
Fair enough. So, we got 1 minute. Anybody got questions?